Aprieto firme mi mano y hundo el alaba en la tierra. Hace años que llevo en ella. ¿Cómo no estar agotado? Aprieto firme mi mano y hundo el alaba en la tierra. Hace años que llevo en ella, ¿cómo no estar agotado?
Historic mural in the Bernal Heights, San Francisco, was held today. The mural wraps around the Bernal Heights Cortlandt Avenue. The San Francisco Library Commission plans to tear that mural and paint another one. The mural, painted when the community was comprised mostly of Chilean immigrants, features a picture of folk singer Victor Jara and some others.
There was a community process that led to the development of the community mural, and I feel that Victor Jara and the history of that and the art of that should be contained and continue to be in the community.
The activists point out it would take a tenth of the cost to repair the mural compared to taking it all down and repainting.
I'm here. I wanted to talk about one of the elements that the library deployed very cynically, and that is the architectural history of this building. They deployed the history of this branch to be of such great significance at one point to derail the mural restoration project and to say, well, maybe we should just completely whitewash and have no murals. And so they were deploying and saying that it is a building of such great stature that it should be restored completely, just the architecture. But as an architectural historian as well, Frederick Myers, who was the architect of this building, his main work was done 20 years before this building, and although a very handsome and comfortable and pleasant neighborhood branch library, the style of the Spanish colonial revival that is represented here was kind of out of fashion by the 30s when this was done. And so this very cynical move to overstate the architectural significance of the building historically as an excuse to whitewash the mural, that was a way to try to begin to say that it wasn't necessary to restore the murals, which were originally promised in the process, and to begin to give excuses for removing the important popular cultural content that the mural represents, and the fact that the neighborhood went through that history as well in the 70s and the early 80s when the mural was done over 30 years ago. So I just wanted to talk about that twist that the whole process has had. Unfortunately, it was used very dishonestly, and we love the neighborhood library. It's something that works very well with the murals together, and they've been together for over 30 years, and it has its own history now that would be totally inappropriate to remove, and that whole concept. But I also want to just ditto the popular struggle that these murals, all right, thank you, that this mural represents is so important, and KPFA has called and is covering this demonstration right as we'll be putting it out further, so that the story about what Victor Jara means for Bernal Heights and San Francisco and California and the U.S. Thank you.
Margarita. I moved up here in 1969, raised my daughters here as well. I'm no longer a resident, but I come here weekly. Everybody sees me up here. I go to coffee shop. I come back and just visit the community. I hated that I had to leave, but I'm here constantly. But this is more than a political statement, I think. I think this goes even deeper than that, because when the mural was painted, I know when we were growing up, a lot of the kids, this was more or less the first multicultural environment in San Francisco. If you went to the Mission, you mostly got Latinos. If you went to the Bayview, you got African Americans. If you went to the Sunset, you got more of the Caucasian people. And this was the first community that we had friends that were Latinos, Filipinos, Chinese, Irish, Italians, and growing up in that environment in my era has given us all a bigger look on brotherhood and sisterhood in the community. It doesn't go just with the ethnic background, but it's more diverse, and that's something that we have enjoyed growing up. When this mural was put up, It was something more of a political statement. It was something that was more bonding, because it gave us empowerment, knowing that they were going to actually do that for our community. They were going to put something there that made a difference, as well as the mural on the side. Had I known they destroyed that one, I would have been here protesting against that, because we do have people now that have gone, they have passed away, and they were actually, for us kids, the people that we looked up to. We looked up to the person that had the pharmacy. We looked up to JC, to Norm, that owned JC Supermarket. These are vendors, merchants that us kids had respect for, that we knew when we went in their store, when they said, you know, don't do this or don't do that, or what does your mom or dad need, they heard us, and we grew up with that. And knowing that they did take down that other part, it makes me sad to know that that's gone. I would hate to see that this is gone as well, not only for the political influence that it has, but also it even goes deeper than that. As I'm saying, it goes to pertaining to us, giving us something back in the community that made it ours. And that's what I just want to say, that I'm linked on Facebook, and we have, actually, it's called Homegrown Cortland. We have almost 400 members in the community, and we're now grandparents. So I will be emailing them today, letting them know what's going on. So let them know, because anytime there's anything up on Cortland, a lot of them do not live here, but we feel that this is still our community and it's our neighborhood, so I'm sure they'll respond. So I'm going to get you.
I live in Bernal Heights now, but I actually grew up in San Mateo County. And one thing that really struck me when I moved to San Francisco 4 years ago was that there are murals like this and works of art like this. I think we take it for granted a lot in San Francisco, especially in the Mission District and Bernal Heights in this area. How rare this is, that there's actually communities that come together at any point to create something this beautiful is really, really rare. And in the Bay Area especially. In San Mateo, where I grew up, spent most of my life, in 20 years, there's no murals of anything like this sort that tell any kind of history like this. And that's a very big county, and it just doesn't happen. So I think something like this is really important to protect. And the other thing I just want to say is, I work with a lot of musicians and artists and people locally too, and I would like to come out here again, next weekend or whatever, and do some more music and get some more people here and keep this thing going strong.
To oppose, to erase the mural in front of this library, where this legendary figure appears along with other important figures of the North American song too. We're talking about Victor Jara, about the Chilean folk singer that was assassinated in 1973 by the military coup in Chile, September 11th. That's why I am singing here, to show some of the songs, some of the immortal songs of Victor Jara. And our objective is that the people integrate themselves, demanding that this mural in front of this library continue being there. Because I said it before, when somebody gives his life or her life for principles of solidarity, of friendship, of social justice, we need to take responsibility and be part of this. And more than that too, or together with that, respect the artwork, the popular artwork, not just erase it, with no consultations, with arbitrary decisions, with political arbitrary decisions. We want Victor Jara to remain in the front of this library as a symbol of a struggle, as a symbol of dignity. That was why he sang through his life. And that's why he didn't die when they killed him. They killed him in 1973. He is completely alive all over the world in the voice of many people. And he should be alive also in front of this mural.
Yes.
song.
One more song.
This song that I wrote in honor of Victor Jara and with words by a Chilean poet, Fernando Alegría.
A llamar la atención con voz de cantor serrano al hombre que va sin manos por cielo de mi nación. No ignora en su turbación que las flores se apagaron y los ríos se secaron, privados de primavera por las movidas areteras de tigres que lo mataron, lo mataron. Va volando su guitarra sola entre rojas banderas, quemando la cementera con su voz que al viento amarra. Viento que saca las garras, silbando en la plaza oscura, sangrante la huella impura del cuchillo que cortó sus cuerdas y nos dejó para siempre su bravura. Hoy canta, compañero, sobre llanuras nevadas, no quede tu mano helada, porque sol del buen obrero entre rocas del estero, hacer noches de mañana. Mientras abre su ventana, a que le tocó morir por una ley de vivir del pueblo contra el guerrero. Te escucho, hermano, cantar en el estadio vacío, voz de piedras en un río que nadie habrá de callar. Y me da por preguntar por qué tu vuelo cortaron, si supieron que fallaron, no por mala puntería, pues el pueblo recibía vida cuando te mataron, pues el pueblo recibía vida cuando te mataron, pues el pueblo recibía vida cuando te mataron.
Of Occupy San Francisco Action Council, and I live in San Bruno. When Allende was elected in 1970, I was in a position, and in a privileged position, to hitchhike from here to Chile. Remember, he was elected democratically by a coalition of parties, which we don't have the luxury of in the United States of having coalition parties. But I hitchhiked from here to there, and of course the poetry of Pablo Neruda and the music of Quilapayún and the music of Inti Illimani had already reached up here. And so I was fortunate in 1972 to attend a concert at the Estadio Nacional de Chile in Santiago, in which Victor Jara appeared. And many of us were able to greet him as he came by. Nothing personal, but we really, of course, supported not only his political position. Remember, he was a theater director and a playwright before he was a musician. It was from that dramatic background that he became a composer and then a performer. He performed a lot of his music, his own compositions, and then the wonderful music of Atahualpa Yupanqui. Do you know Atahualpa Yupanqui? The dean of folk music of the Andes. Well, I was back, I came back in March of 73, and the coup was then on 9/11 in 73. And one could just feel it coming. The right wing, called in Chile in Spanish, Los Momios, had been harping and threatening the Unidad Popular, and Victor Jara was a part of a movement to the left of Allende, which included the Juventud Comunista, Partido Juventud Comunista de Chile, and also the MIR, which is the Movimiento Izquierdista Revolucionario. And so they were urging the Unidad Popular, of which Allende was the president and also the leader of that party, more to the left. And so he was reviled by large segments of the right-wing Chilean population. And then, little by little, with the American blockade and with Kennecott copper and with the machinations of the CIA in Europe blockading Chilean copper. That was their main income, was copper. And so the threats became more and more public, and then finally, of course, with the help from the United States, the attack came on the Moneda. Do you know the story that those jets that attacked the Moneda flew out of South Texas, landed in Mendoza, Argentina? Chilean pilots got in, and so the same jets, American jets, bombed the Moneda, just with different pilots.
And what do you think about this mural here in San Francisco at the Bernal Heights Library?
Well, I think it has great significance not only to the situation that we're in today, especially with Occupy and with the 99% feeling much stronger in pushing back against the 1%, but it's also historical. It's so important that we know that Chile, California, we are so similar in so many ways. The great Chilean wines, the Pacific coast, the forests, everything. We are Chile of the north, and they, of course, California of the south. And what happened to Victor Jara, what happened to the Unidad Popular, which was a democratically elected government, is in many ways, unfortunately, coming to California.
So you are opposed to the removal of the mural?
Oh yes, it should be restored, it should be honored. There's just no reason to put a nondescript wave, which I love any art, but to put a nondescript wave in place of a really important historical and artistic mural just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I think the community should have a voice, and if the community wants that, hey, that's democracy. But I don't know. I just thought I'd show up to support Victor Jara's legacy and the mural itself, and of course the poetry that's written on it is very, very beautiful also.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks to you.
And it's okay. It should not be destroyed.
Okay. Mira la montaña, de donde viene el viento, el sol y el agua. Tú que caminas el curso de los ríos, tú que sembraste el viento de mi alma.
Levántate y mírate las manos para crecer, estrechan a tu hermano. Juntos iremos unidos en la sangre. Hoy es el tiempo que
en la miseria. Danos tu reino de justicia e igualdad. Sopla como el viento el calor de la quebrada, hunde como el fuego el cañón de mi fusil. Dándese por fin tu voluntad aquí en la tierra. Danos tu fuerza y tu valor al combatir. Sopla como el viento la flor de la quebrada, limpia como el fuego el cañón de mi fusil. Levántate y mete las manos, look at your hands, para crecer, estréchala a tu hermano, to grow, stretch him to your sister, juntos iremos, unidos en la sangre, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte, amén. Together we can make a big difference. I'll just share with you together with Rafa, we can do a very simple refrain. See? Caminando, caminando, vamos caminando hacia el sol. Together. Caminando, caminando hacia el sol. Vamos caminando hacia el sol. Caminando, caminando, caminando a la libertad. Vamos caminando hacia la libertad. Thank you very much. Get those calls. If not, it'll just be one more Sunday rally. But if we each take commitment to tell one or two people. And thank you to Bill for giving me a call.
Some of what's been going on with respect to the process is that the initial compromise in August 2009 was to repaint and refresh the front panel Victor Jara, and the estimate given by Reseda Eyes, which favored the restoration of the entire mural, was $16,800. 2 years later, when the so-called BLAP, the Bernal Library Art Project, presented its plan for tearing down everything and replacing it with new materials, there was nothing discussed at the Library Commission or the Arts Commission regarding budget. But when we searched and found buried in the documents a budget, that budget was more than 10 times as much as the original compromise 2 years earlier. So in July 2011, the library approved the replacement of the mural without any discussion of budget, and what we have is a budget that was given by the BLAP as $185,000, and as Dicha has asked me to point out, particularly the Friends of SFPL is listed in the budget as receiving a fee of $16,800, almost as much as the entire refreshment compromise plan would have cost as estimated 2 years earlier. There's also a project management fee of $10,000, which I would say probably is in the control of them, but I'm not sure. The money aspect of this also is that the Friends have been it's been very difficult to get from the library information about the Friends' finances and their donations to the library. For the last 10 or 11 years overall, we do know that according to the 990 forms they have filed, they've raised more than $40 million and given the library on the order of $4 million. So they've kept 90% of what they have collected and given to the library on the order of 10%. I did want to read a little bit, if I might be indulged, a message from Holly Neer, who is on the mural, whose words are on the mural, and she has sent a letter to Mayor Ed Lee. Dear Mayor Lee, I have been told that the murals painted 30 years ago on the Bernal Heights Branch Library are to be removed. Why would one want to remove cultural history without a profound reason? I could understand if artists gathered and found a way to alter the mural in order to bring together the past and the present, or if there was an image that had become offensive in the face of changed consciousness. But to simply paint it over makes no sense at all. Victor Jara, depicted in the mural, was an artist who contributed greatly to our understanding of the power of music in the face of terror. Do we not need this reminder now more than ever? As we experience ongoing violence among genders, races, and cultures, is this not the time to have the valiant efforts of working women reflected back to us in the spirit of courage and hope? I'll make an aside here. Of course, the whole side panel on Moultrie Street shows working women and honors working women, which was not so commonplace in 1980 to 82 when the mural went up. Is it not time to have the valiant efforts of working women reflected back to us in the spirit of courage and hope? I'm continuing with Holly Neer's letter. In a time when negative images and events blast us daily, please do not bulldoze our positive history, our images of cooperation and caring. And her second and last paragraph, yes, my image appears in the mural, but my image also appears in other places. It is the fact that these images are included together in community that is so powerful. The people, in quotes, seldom, if ever, have stone carvings on mountains or massive statues at government buildings in the way of presidents. But we do have the great work of murals all over the world. And there is no greater honor than to have such art and history held dear by public libraries. Works of art such as these are not to be removed lightly. I ask you to consider your reasons and your actions very seriously. Thank you for your consideration, Holly Neer. And I also have a message from Nancy York. This is a bit of a draft, but I'll just read a few words from her. She is the sister of Victor Jara, and she's the one who actually has saved this mural for the moment from complete destruction by sending a letter to the mayor, the city librarian, and others.
That's the sister of Victor Jara.
I'm sorry. Nancy York is the sister of Arch Williams, the main muralist who put this up, who was also a member of the Haight-Ashbury Muralists. That is, Arch Williams was. She writes, "Greetings to all. Thanks for being here and caring for your community. Anyone here who helped envision the mural and paint it? We'd love to hear your memories." Nancy writes, "My brother was Arch Williams, who together with Carlos Alcalá and a host of neighbors, particularly those in the youth program, created this mural. Arch was an original member of the Haight-Ashbury Muralists. He drove a cab by night and painted murals by day. He was a strong defender of we the people. He was a great brother and a really good guy. I miss him terribly, but this is not about my brother. This is about saving and restoring this."
Here in the city, in Glen Park, what they're doing in the parks, I think is awful. I think it's a misspent of money, misspent of bond money. I'm not voting for the bonds this year because I don't like the way they're spending the money. I think it's ridiculous. So.
And why are they spending money on wasteful things when they
I know, that's right. Everybody's broke and they're spending money on these ridiculous things. So anyway, no more bond money for me.
Come, roll down
this old dusty road. I'm blowing down this old dusty road. I'm blowing down this old dusty road, Lord, and I'm gonna be treated this way.